Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Taste of Dragons, the Toddcast, the video game podcast that, all of you dream catchers listen to.
Oh,
yeah.
Dreams.
This week, watch us remake Civilization.
Ooh, I bet you're talking about Civilization.
Possibly.
Yeah.
The news is going viral.
Ooh, I bet you're talking about viral diseases.
Yeah, possibly.
Ooh, gross.
Our topic is original, or not.
Like the Pancake House.
Yeah.
I see where you're going.
I love pancakes.
Yeah. Or IHOP. And then the dragon this week is very gallant.
Ooh, okay. Oh, like King Arthur. Wow.
King Arthur, yeah.
Glad we cleared up what we're going to be talking about this week.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And also some pitter-patter of little feets. That might be involved as well this week.
That's
we'll
Pepper, our little puppy.
Yeah. It's in the dragon's den,
I mean, it's our dragon.
Yeah.
Our little dragon egg. What do you call a baby dragon? A draggy?
Hatchling.
A hatchling.
Yeah,
It's our little
there we go.
hatchling, Pepper.
I like it. And as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
Amanda.
And I'm Joe.
Yeah. So welcome to another week, everyone.
I'm so happy to be here, everyone.
Same.
This is good times. It's a good week. A lot of crazy things happened in news. Oh, we have a fun news section.
We do. We have a fun game section as well.
Wait, this is about video games?
It might be. And
sandwiches.
sandwiches.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
We really need to find a sandwich video game.
Like a
out there.
Cooking Mama video game where you
Yeah,
just make, but only sandwiches.
Just sandwiches.
Why don't we buy Cooking Mama, but we refuse to make anything but sandwiches?
Okay.
We're not going to get very far in that game.
Level 1, egg. Already game over.
Yeah.
Because you have Overcooked, and that's a cooking game, but you can chop, lettuce and tomatoes, but you're not really making sandwiches.
Yeah, like burritos, the
No.
closest you get.
They make
Yeah.
hamburgers. It's kind of like a
Yeah,
sandwich.
that's a sandwich as well, yeah.
Burgers, I guess, are a sandwich. But I want like a sandwich video game that goes deep. Brian, you're a programmer. What do I have to do to make this a reality?
Maybe play Cook Serve Delicious. It is a indie game. And you can cook whatever you want in it.
Wait. Anything I want in it?
I think anything you want in it.
Because, Joe, last episode you talked about those sandwiches.
We can make this happen.
My goodness.
We probably can make it happen.
We-
When
make it
I looked
happen.
up those pictures,
They're amazing.
it was so hard to choose for social media which Japanese sandwich to put on the post. There's so many good ones.
They all look amazing. They taste amazing, but they look.
The fried pork belly one got me.
Oh, yeah.
I should stop talking about it because then we're just this last week's
hungry.
podcast.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Yeah, you guys, they can listen to last week's podcast if they want to hear that.
All I'll say is just go ahead and look them up. You won't be sorry.
No, you will
Oh,
not.
so good.
They are amazing. So yeah, let's get into our video games this week.
What are you playing?
And this week, Amanda, what are you playing this week?
I am playing Civilization 6.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of the Civilization series, although in hindsight, I don't know why I buy them. Because I bought Civilization 2. It was my first ever Civ game. And I could just play Civ 2 forever. I don't need any more mechanics or anything.
It's a remarkable game, Civ 2. Civ 3 is as well. Civ
Yes.
4 and Civ 5, actually.
They're-
Actually, they're all good.
They're
Oh, man.
all really good. But I feel like Civ 2 is perfect. Like, I don't need anything else. I could just play that on loop forever for the rest of my life and be perfectly happy. But that being said, Civ 6 is extremely good. I'm really enjoying it. Realistically, I only play about a third of the game because, ironically, I don't care about winning as much as I care about like starting a nation and then like building it up and then getting overly angry whenever someone messes up the thing that I'm doing. My favorite part of Civ
Is it usually like Scotland? Who is it? Is it Abe Lincoln? Is he
No.
the one messing things up? It's Abe Lincoln. It's always Abe.
sometimes it's like someone who's more militaristic, like it'll be like the US, and I'll be like, that's fine.
Of course.
But ironically, like sometimes it'll be like Gandhi's messing you up, and then you're gonna play and you're like, damn it, Gandhi, I was just doing that.
Gosh,
Or like
stop stealing my crops. You're supposed to be fasting.
Right?
Goodness.
Last time I was playing with Wilhelmina from the Netherlands, and she gets really angry with you if you're not trading with her. But like, I like to build different trade routes because they're the only way to make roads. So I'll just move a trade route from her to like a new town that I just built, and then she'll be like, "People who don't trade with me will die," and I'll be like, "Calm down, lady. It's
It's the Netherlands.
7 turns. You'll be fine.
Man, you have a beautiful country. Is there any way that you could explain Civilization for maybe anyone who hasn't like played it? Also, I would just love to hear you go for it.
It's kind of like an RTS, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but
like a real-time strategy game.
right, you start at least with this one, you start at the dawn of civilization and you make your own country. They kind of have major world leaders throughout history. You can choose your country. Every world leader has a perk, and it changes and they also have unique units. But you make your civilization and then you play it throughout the years until one of you wins. And you can do things like build more towns, and you can get different advances in technology, and depending on what you choose, your path is different, and there are a few different ways to win. So.
It's so remarkable that they made that a game.
Yeah.
Like, that's something on paper that you go, either that'll never work or that's too boring, and yet somehow every Civilization game has been just so gripping and fascinating to me. Yeah. Okay.
I always go science victory.
Okay.
Because like
nice. Yeah,
my
yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing is just getting spaceships into space.
Yeah.
And then being like, peace, guys. You enjoy Earth, and you're fighting and violence and such.
Amanda, you are the smart one. You between the two of us here.
Oh,
Is there a victory for, like, I don't know, singing some songs and
they
chilling
have
on a
an
couch?
arts and culture victory.
That's me.
Nice. You found your game. Found your path.
I don't know if this is new or if I just never cared before, but they also have a religious victory, which has been a lot of fun, because you can have a religious war without actually declaring war on another nation. So you can
Oh my
have,
gosh.
like, normally if you attack someone, they get very angry with you because you're killing their civilians, and that is bad. But if you're in a religious war and then you're killing people, somehow that's okay. But you can only kill other religious people.
Welcome to England
So
Yeah.
during the 12th century.
so you can make up your own religion and then like subtly try to but it's cool because you can either fight other people and then sneak into their area and then like spread your religion, or you can get sneaky about it and you can like set up trade routes if you have like a super religious town, and then have them trade with people near where you want your religion to spread. Because like if you have lots of religious points, it'll start spreading into their area, and you can like covertly push your agenda. It's fun. There's a lot of different victory conditions.
Go knocking on doors. Hello, have you heard a good word of my God, which I will not say exactly who he is until you say yes. Also, it's a he, because yay, old times.
Yeah. I actually had a teacher when I was in middle school. I think it was middle school, who wasn't very good at Civilization, but one of the kids in the class was. So he let him get off of homework for teaching him Civilization.
That kid is a hero.
Oh, that kid was amazing. He was one of my friends too. That's the only reason why I found out about it. So I was like, man, you're really good at Civ. He's like, oh yeah, I don't have to do homework because, the teacher wants me to teach him how to do it. So in exchange for it, I just teach him how to play Civilization. It's like, all right, well done.
The old
hero.
stuff was harder.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
you didn't have the buttons. You had to remember the hotkeys. So
Oh,
like,
it was original Civilization. Yeah.
which is nice because they do reward you for having played the other ones because the hotkeys always still work. So when new one, whenever you install the new one, I'm like skipping the tutorials because I'm like, I got this, and then I start playing and I was like, oh, these new mechanics I don't understand. I shouldn't have done that. But it was a lot of fun. It
Nice.
was good. Bye.
Nice. Awesome.
Do it.
I guess we will go next, and by we I mean Troy and I.
Ooh.
By the power of two,
Yes.
Brian, I will speak.
Yes.
Brian, what game did you play this week?
I played a demo.
Oh my gosh, I played a demo.
Oh my god.
What was it?
It was of a remake.
Oh my gosh, I played a remake.
Oh.
This is going to be the whole conversation.
Oh my god, I walked into that building too.
You too, so did I.
Oh my god. But yeah, we played the Final Fantasy VII demo, remake demo.
Yes.
And it was. So I found out about it while I was at work.
Dropped kind of out of nowhere.
Dropped out of nowhere. I happened to find out kind of immediately as it dropped because I just, I was waiting for stuff to arrive on Tuesday because that's what my Tuesdays are, is waiting around for stuff to arrive at work.
Yeah.
And as I was waiting, I saw it was like 7 minutes ago. I was like, oh yeah, this thing just dropped. I immediately logged onto my PSN app on my phone. I hit buy the download or buy the demo and then immediately download it.
Start downloading it.
Yeah.
Wow. 2020. What a beautiful
And I got
time.
home and it was downloaded and installed.
I was home when PlayStation put out on their Twitter, like, reasons to call out of work. Final Fantasy VII remake demos dropping tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, all right. I didn't have work anyway.
You got me. All right.
So you and I are both Final Fantasy VII fans. We
Yes.
kind of grew up with it. What were your thoughts on this demo?
It was very interesting because the opening cinematic was just, brought a tear to my eye because it's the opening cinematic from the game.
I was crying before the cinematic started.
You just heard the
kidding me?
music.
I have not been hyped up yet about this. I love Final Fantasy VII, but that chapter's closed. I'm good. I don't need a remake, so to speak. But it's here, and I haven't watched any. I've watched the very first trailer, and that's been it.
Okay.
So when the title hit, just the opening menu and the Final Fantasy theme starts playing, and this is the Final Fantasy theme for all the Final Fantasies, I immediately got taken back to when I was in like 6th grade or something, and I turned on the original Final Fantasy VII, which was my first RPG ever, and that music spun up. And even back then, you would just click through to get to the game. I remember stopping and not being able to move forward until the song finished. And I had forgotten that until it happened again. So it like sparked a forgotten memory. And I was like, oh, hi, old friend.
And you have that problem in video games where you've been burned before, where either dialogue will be happening or a song will be playing, and then he'll like try to move forward with the pace that the game wants you to move at, but then you get to that doorway and you don't know the doorway is like when it ends, and then you're like halfway through the song, and then all of a sudden it's like meh, and you're like, oh no, I wanted the whole thing.
I wanted to listen to the
like,
rest.
you clearly wanted me to walk. Why didn't you give me enough time to?
I'll just wait here. Yeah, so all those games just end up with me talking to a character and then just standing near a fence for 3 minutes silently until the music ends that the character can't hear.
And then walking in silence through the scene that's supposed to have music.
It's beautiful.
That's pretty awesome. But so that opening cinematic hits. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. And it truly is just that opening cinematic. And then it gets to it. There's a couple of little differences from when you get off the train. And then the camera swings around. You are Cloud.
Yes.
And I initially thought I'm not a huge fan of how close the camera is to your character.
Really? Okay.
To begin with.
Okay.
I grew into it as I played it, but I thought I could probably use maybe 5 more feet behind him, like just a little bit.
Just give me some space.
Just a little bit
Cloud,
of space.
You can
give me some
smell his
space.
cologne, and
Exactly.
it's just too much.
It's
You
just
can
too much.
you can smell his hairspray, and you're like, that is some strong stuff. I knew none of that hair was natural.
As soon as you start swinging, I'm going to get hit with that sword, my man. I just a little bit. But I grew accustomed to it as I went along.
Okay.
And so this game, it just takes place in Midgar. This entire game is going to take place just in Midgar.
It looks like it's going to be kind of the first act of the actual game.
Yes.
I think what was astonishing to me, have you played Final Fantasy VII since, I guess, we were teenagers?
Yes, I used to play it yearly.
Oh, okay,
sometimes a couple of times a year. I haven't played it probably within the last 4 or 5 years, though.
Oh, okay. All right. I think for me, what was magic about this is that it took what my imagination did when I was a teenager to fill in the blanks. And this game just filled it in for me as far as just the colors of the world, the acting that the characters had. These characters their faces didn't move back then. They blinked. That was about it.
Yeah.
And then their boxy arms moved around. But this game...
They had circle hands.
They had circle hands.
Yeah.
This game just fills in what my imagination was doing at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really awesome.
Oh, yeah. And you find out that Jesse is extremely thirsty in this game.
They take smaller characters that were just kind of throwaway, and now since they kind of flesh them out and give them more of a personality. And I ended up, one of the characters in this demo is Jesse, who's just one of 3 characters that are just kind of like, henchmen or bodyguards. And she's really cool. She's got a great personality. She's kind of hitting on Cloud the whole time.
Oh, yeah. That's all she's doing.
But it's finding nuance in a game that I didn't know or wasn't looking for it or didn't think I needed. But it turns out I'm into it.
Oh, yeah. I remember I was walking around. I was walking around inside the reactor, and as I was running, I was like, wait a minute. I think I know where I am.
Yeah.
And then I looked up and I was like, no, this is exactly, I knew exactly where I was because of my knowledge of Final Fantasy VII, that this is that exact room that you are in. And this is the exact layout of that room, just in high def. And there's the same amount of like little stairway cases that you go down and everything. It was very interesting.
I can't decide if I would get anything out of this game because I never played 7. I played Dirge of Cerberus and I watched Advent Children, but I've never played 7. So I feel like a lot of what I'm hearing people talk about is like, oh, it's great. Like you being like, I was in the room and I knew exactly what that was.
Yeah.
But having never played it before, I wonder if I would play it and be like, cool. Cool.
To be honest, right now, I don't think so. So much of what I enjoyed of this game was like just xylophone in on my nostalgia.
Yeah.
That like, if you take that away, it's got a interesting fight system between, like, it's active and you're swapping between characters and throwing out fireballs and hitting things, and it's kind of tactical but also action. That could be fun on its own. But other than that, I mean, you're just kind of going through an area to area, like opening a chest in fighting 3 dudes here or there. It's not that complicated or robust.
No.
I know there will be an upgrade system. I know there will be things you can do with your weapons and magic and whatnot. But so much of this for me is just reliving my past and getting to see cutscenes.
So if you could just record all the cutscenes for me, I would like to see an Advent Children prequel.
Great.
So
great,
if you could just compile that.
I will
for
show you
me.
that video. Do not look at the bottom of the screen to see that it's just some other YouTuber that I looked up. It was totally me. I have a lot of different surnames and monikers.
Yes.
Yes.
And also, it might only be the first part of that prequel. We'll flesh it out later. Don't worry about it.
But I'm excited.
How was the difficulty for you? Like, how was the pacing and everything?
I put it on normal. The pacing was just fine. The last boss in the demo was pretty difficult, I thought.
Agreed.
But I don't know if that was because it was difficult or I was still just wrapping my mind around a kind of confusing fight system, or just a fight system that you're going to need some time to find a flow with. I think that was it. Like I said, this looks like a fun ride. I feel like I'm going to enjoy this for like a good week and just I don't think I want anything more.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did have a couple of things. Like I said, the camera at first I was like, I don't know about this, but I grew accustomed to it. I don't know how much I like looking for Shinra boxes to swipe and hit. But it's something
generic.
Extra. It's just a generic thing. The thing I really didn't like about it is, so you go through this one area and there's lasers, you have to kind of dodge in between, fine. But as I'm going through, I'm searching every single nook and cranny. I'm searching everything.
Yeah.
Cool. I found it. I found this. Awesome. You get down to the bottom, you blow up the reactor, and then you have to traverse through the exact same area, but fighting enemies this time. As you're traversing back up, there's now Shinra boxes where there weren't before. And I just...
The bad guy brought them with him,
is that
and then
what
he
it
put
is?
them down on the way in.
Like, I just didn't like that aspect of it, where it's like, either these are supposed to be here the first time I walk through this area, or I don't need these. Like, in this specific area. Like... Just have them or don't have them.
That's why I think, Mandy, this is dialing in heavy on this nostalgia. Otherwise, it may just be kind of a generic video game.
Yeah.
That being said, I think there's something to the fight system that even without the nostalgia,
Agreed.
I think could be actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
But we'll find out on April 10th when the full version drops. This has been so good. Not seeing any trailers to get the demo for the first time. It sold me. I bought it. They
Nice.
have once you beat the game.
Nice.
Once you beat the demo, it's like, you ready to buy?
Yeah, you can get the regular version or the deluxe version. Here's the extras it includes.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, deluxe, do it.
Yeah.
Sure. So that's it.
Yeah, I'm already in. I bought it as like day one as soon as it went on pre-order.
I've been meaning to. I just hadn't yet. So this was easy.
Fair enough. All right, so yeah, that was Final Fantasy VII Remake demo, which was, how long did it take? It took me about an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Same.
Yeah. All right, cool. So yeah, that'll be for us. And then Joe, what did you play?
I played Yokai Watch 4 plus plus.
Ooh.
Plus. I have no idea what the plus actually does, aside from, I think it's DLC that you can get. You get But I haven't
just
gotten to
extra
any
stuff.
hardcore part of the game where that's going to be something. I don't read Japanese that well. I was ambitious, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to read the things. I have no idea.
Wait, you got a game that is like Japanese
Straight up.
only?
Oh yeah, you can't buy this game here.
That's amazing. That's the plus.
It's the plus, the plus minus for me, because man, I thought I was very ambitious, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna buy this game in Japanese, and I'm gonna read all the things. I'll look up the words that I need to look up. It'll be fine. I have to look up so many words, it's not gonna happen. So I have decided to just kind of piece together just the pieces I could understand of every sentence they say, which is not a lot of words. But the few I have gotten is in the opening. So the opening's amazing. It has a new theme song, and it's ridiculous. It's yokai. It's crazy. But there's an opening cinematic where it's like two yokai brother dudes. One of them is gray and one of them is orange, and they are fighting a giant red-eyed monster that has like a circle around the eyeball, and it's got hands, and the hands turn into like sharp, horrible things, and like the two yokai brothers are trying to fight this eyeball monster. It was basically like Bill Cipher, only red.
Ooh.
And it was so cool. We're gonna name the monster Bill. So Bill is trying to murder these yokai brothers, and the one brother's like, no, don't go, brother. And then like the brother's like, nah, I'm orange, and I turn into fire, and I'm gonna beat the crap out of this eyeball that just appeared out of the sky and is doing nothing but just sitting there. But I'm gonna attack the crap out of it, because I don't speak or read Japanese that well, so I kind of got a little level going on. So the eyeball totally messes up the orange brother.
Oh, no.
And orange brother has like super awesome power up thing, and he turns into a way dumber looking yokai. No sword. I don't know what the hell's wrong with that. But he's like, it's okay. I super powered up, and now I have 3 eyeballs, and I'm going to beat this eyeball monster. He does not beat that eyeball monster.
Oh, no.
We're going to jump to the end here. He like gets dusted, like Thanos snapped dusted.
No.
And I was like, this is the opening cinematic? I am so upset right now. And like Gray Brother dude is like, I didn't even get to power up. I got to watch my brother get dusted. I got to get the heck out of Dodge, man. This is messed up. So like he runs off. Then it goes to where your character is, and it's the main character of the rest of the games and the girl character from the rest of the games. And he's just hanging out, reading like a Jump comic in his room with Jibanan and Whisper. And like Whisper pops up and he's like, yo, you feel that? Did you feel what just happened? And he's like, I'm reading a book. Like, no, I didn't feel anything. And Whisper's like, we should get up. We should go outside and we should like figure out what's going on. And he's like, I don't really care. And Jibanan's like, yeah, I'm kind of tired. I mean, I could go to the conveni and I could maybe get some ice cream. Want to get some ice cream? And Whisper's like, we've got to go. We've got to do something. There's a horrible, it's like a disturbance in the force, you know, like that level. And the two of them were like, no, I don't feel like it. I'm reading some of this and I'm like, I don't understand why he doesn't care. Did something happen in these games where I don't know, like, did something new happen where this character doesn't give a crap about yokai anymore? I mean, he's still got 2 in his room. What was happening here? He goes and hangs out with the mom. They go to Konbini. They get some ice cream. And then Whisper comes down with an awful case of purple line hell that happens to yokai when another yokai messes with them.
Purple wavy lines.
Purple wavy lines.
Oh, no.
And so Whisper gets purple wavy line. It looks like depression, like in Animal Crossing when a character is very sad and it's like, "Bow-wow, bow-wow," and it's like kicking the dirt. It looks like that, only on the whole yokai. And yokai used to only get those lines if they were actually sad, and then they were doing things that they should be doing because they're sad and they're making everyone around them sad. Whisper being sad's weird, man. He gets mad, he slaps you, and then he like flies away. Yeah, I was like, yo, this yokai game is messed up. What is happening here?
Wow, they murder someone's brother, then you're super like neglectful to your friend, and then he hits you. This is
I feel like
this is a Lifetime movie.
I feel like listening to you, I've just watched like an anime version of Days of Our Lives.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I know this is what everybody wants. They all want yokai Days of Our Lives. But this is why I couldn't really talk about it last week, because I didn't really understand what the hell was going on.
I don't think I understand what the hell is going on.
I still kind of don't.
I like it.
But I finally got to battle another yokai. So Whisper's very
and
upset.
Yokais are the mischievous demons.
Yes.
that
Some are
kinda-
good, some are bad, some are right down the middle.
Are they kind of like Pokemon, but demons? Like they hang out with you and you're your pal?
Kinda. So some yokai will
fight with them?
Some yokai will be your friend, and they will help you not get hurt by other or not get affected.
Guardians.
Yeah,
spiritual
basically
guardian.
a guardian,
Like Mushu.
Like
in,
familiars,
in
like
Mulan.
witchy familiars.
Yes,
no,
very
good
much
ones.
so.
Good ones, Troy. Good ones.
But the yokai usually don't affect other yokai, which is, I think, a new mechanic in this game, where
Okay.
the yokai actually can mess with the yokai that are on your team.
Ooh, that's why
At least
it's
that's what it
Yokai
looks
Watch
like.
4
Maybe.
plus.
But it's just I finally like the battle one. It's one of the derpy ones, but. They changed one of the mechanics. I don't think I think this is new for this game because I don't remember the last game for the DS being like this. But you, as the main character, have a weird yokai mallet, and you take that mallet and you can beat the crap out of the yokai that you're. So it used to be like your yokai you were using. It's like Pokemon. You would tell it what to do, or you would be like, "Yo, please, like, don't damage that one too bad. I want to be friends with it." And then you have to talk to that yokai. It'll run away. You have to talk to that yokai and then talk to other yokai and find out what it likes. And then you would go buy the candy, or you would go pick up things that yokai likes. If that yokai liked dirty socks, you would go find a dirty sock and then be like, "Hey, you want to be my friend?" And that yokai would be like, "Hey, I like dirty socks. I'll be your friend." And it's weird. The game's very odd.
That
But usually
yokai's name was Dobby.
it's almost,
But now you
right?
hit it with a mallet?
You hit it with a mallet. How are you going to be friends with that thing now? I was very perturbed. It was like, yeah, this is how you play. And it's, the things pop up. I'm like, okay, so you hit X for that. I'm like, why do I have a weapon? I've only ever had a watch. I mean, you use your watch, you find the yokai, and then you use your yokai to befriend more yokai.
Well, then you hit him with the yokai stick.
Right? Like,
You beat them down with friendship.
I don't want friends like that,
Well,
man.
that's the name of the mallet.
Well, this
Friendship.
Friendship.
This is the same game where your brother died and then you get smacked in the
Right?
face in the opening cutscene.
Opening cutscene. Let's just murder
I'm
things.
a little worried about the creators of yokai. I feel like someone needs to make a house call.
Are they okay? Is this a cry for help? Because I mean, it's very clear if that's what it is. But ultimately, I have finally battled a yokai. It is very fun. I do not like hitting yokai with a mallet. It's got like a weird, I don't know. It's just not for me. I felt like it was, when I'm Link and I'm like fighting with a sword and you're like really excited that you're beating up Bobkins.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you're
Take that,
You're like,
Bobkins.
you take that. I don't feel that way about beating up like a yokai because they have like nice happy faces and they're not like seeming like they're evil.
Some of them are look like old people.
Right? And that was the one that the first battle I had to do. It was like an old man yokai. I'm like, I am uncomfortable beating you with a mallet. Jibanan's like punching the crap out of it with you. I don't know about this, guys.
I got that with the end of Monster Hunter. The more I played Monster Hunter, the more I was just like, I don't know if I feel okay.
Am I
about
the
this.
bad guy?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
I have
Classic.
always said that about Monster Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
It
Oh,
bothers
I
me.
agree with
I
you.
love watching everyone play, but after a while, I'm like, just leave it alone.
Yeah,
It doesn't
the
want to.
whimpering noises and the
Yeah,
limping.
as it just
and
runs
the,
away.
It just doesn't want to mess with you.
It's like, no, I'm going to wear that limp for my hat.
Oh, did you just take its tail off?
Yes.
Oh.
Unless it's an Anjanath.
Yeah, they
Then
deserve
it
it.
deserve it.
They deserve
Damn
it.
Anjanath.
I agree.
He fought a Pookie the other day.
Aww.
I love Pookie. But its tongue was like full of, I guess, poison
Yes.
or
Yes,
something.
yeah.
I was very sad about that because, like, no, you have to hurt the Pookie. Leave the Pookie alone.
I was like, no, I don't have to hurt it. I have to kill it, Joe. There's
I
a
was very
difference.
upset. It was very damaging to my.
I feel because the Pookies are they're like half parrot but half lizards. They're
Yes.
just like the really pretty colors, and then it has just the cool aspects of like the lizard face with like parrot wing. It's very pretty.
Yeah. So, all right. So that was your game, Yokai Watch 4.
Plus, plus, plus.
All right. That'll lead us to our news segment.
News.
So leading us off, last couple of weeks, we've been talking about how GDQ has been shedding people left and right, or vendors and sponsors and whatnot. And so they decided to just completely cancel it. And they're going to reschedule it to the summer at some point. They haven't decided yet due to the coronavirus.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Probably for the best. Microsoft still plans on holding a digital conference during this
I
weekend.
mean, that makes sense. Like we don't. This is where everyone's like okay to not do physical things anymore.
Exactly.
I was gonna say I think what the conferences are worried about is that once people step away and then have to do it remotely, that they're gonna go, why did we ever do this physically
This
and
is
then
it,
not
guys.
come back?
Yeah.
So
I think we
I'm
know
worried.
who's behind this virus.
Yep.
I'm a little worried for the companies that do the conferences, because like the mayor of Boston wrote that letter. We talked about it in last week's podcast.
Yeah.
But the idea of all of those local vendors and how they kind of depend on this event happening every year, and now it's gone. So
Yeah.
This is all just going to turn into a new frontier for virtual reality. Let's get that tech done so we never have to be around each other anymore.
although I like the virtual conferences, I'm being honest. I like sitting on my sofa.
They're
and-
efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They very much are. And then also, speaking of COVID, Amanda, you got some news?
I do. This is actually really fun. Is they made a video game to fight COVID-19. It's called Fold It. So basically, it's crowdsourced research. You can download the game for free. And then basically what you're going to be doing is folding chains of amino acids. So they show you how the game works. And then they give you like a few sample amino acids, and then you learn how to fold them. And then what they do is they have a version of the COVID-19 virus, and they would like as many examples as they can find of how to fold it to create a vaccine. And I am not a scientist, so I've probably said some of this wrong. But basically, when you're done, you can send it off to them, and then they're going to take the top few, and they're actually going to make like vaccines and stuff with them.
Nice.
So
Anything that helps.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Anything and everything. Let's find a cure.
And Amanda, you say you're not into science, but I think civilization says otherwise.
Yes. You're the smart one.
I'm into video game science, which is just like, oh, the blue one goes to the blue one.
That's
not
this.
The...
That's this,
That-
Amanda.
that's-
You
yeah.
literally just talk about video game science.
It's literally up to you, Manda.
Oh no,
Yes. The world is depending on it.
This is the true science victory.
it's okay, guys. It's okay, guys. I did download it.
Okay.
I've played 5 minutes of it, and I can say it is more complicated than I thought it would be. But I highly recommend everyone downloading it so
Hey.
that we can all do
Pitch
our part.
in.
That's right. All right, cool. And then Ghost of Tsushima got a release date of June 26th.
Way sooner than I thought.
Same.
Did it already have a release date?
I don't believe it
Okay.
ever had a release date. I think we might be thinking of Neo.
I'm
or,
thinking of Neo.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the highly anticipated game that PlayStation showed a couple E3s ago.
Yep.
That looked like it was running on like a supercomputer.
Yeah.
To think that it's going to come out for the PlayStation 4 totally throws me off.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be kind of like a launch game for the PS5, but
But once I saw a little bit of the beginning trailer, I was like, all right, that looks more like a PS4.
yeah. they scaled it back down. They're like, yeah, this is what we can do.
Yeah. And this is from the makers of Sly Cooper and Infamous.
Yes.
Sucker Punch Studios.
Yeah. And then Last of Us is getting a HBO show by the showrunner of Chernobyl.
Good.
And also the writer of Last of Us is going to be
Neil Druckmann.
he will be also doing it as well.
HBO's just shooting for the next Game of Thrones. Like, please, just
Or Witcher
anything.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like HBO saw The Witcher and was like, video games. All right.
Let's
Same
do
thing.
it.
It's like what they did with The Watchmen, where they looked at like The Boys or whatever else was getting popular, like The Avengers. And we're like, superheroes. We can do that.
Yeah, worked out really well with Watchmen for them.
Yeah. And I think they'll do a great job with Last of Us. And they have a pretty good track record of like, if they announce something, it gets done.
Yes, I agree. And then let's see here. Masahiro Sakurai, which is the Smash Brothers creator, unfortunately fainted while he was at the gym.
Aw.
So he sent out a message to let everybody know, hey, listen, this is what happened to me.
Okay.
You need to take care of yourselves. Please, take care of your bodies. Even when he's hurt, he's making sure everybody else is better.
That's
Aw.
admirable. And
Yeah.
he's like, don't play Smash all the time.
Yeah.
Also, don't work out all the time, apparently.
Yeah.
Find balance.
Find a balance, exactly. And then the original Halo was shadow dropped this week on Steam and the Microsoft
Brian,
Store.
I can see your Halo. Halo.
And it's the anniversary edition, so you can switch between the original and the updated graphics.
Cool.
So pretty nice. pretty nice.
Those original graphics are rough.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are. Which at least you can switch and see how rough they are.
Whoa, okay. Close the curtain. Close the curtain.
Yeah. And then also Shadow dropped was the Division 2's new DLC, which was Warlords
Oh
of
my
New
gosh.
York.
I forgot the Division even existed, Brian.
As did I.
Wow.
I played
Is
that
this
game
why
for,
they
like-
dropped it for free?
No, they didn't. I don't think it was for free.
Oh, okay. Just Shadow dropped.
It was just the
okay.
Shadow dropped it because it was originally supposed to release on Tuesday. They just released it a day early for no reason.
Okay.
So
That's dope.
it's pretty cool. And yeah, I actually played Division 2 for like a month and a half straight, and I forgot about it as well.
All right.
And then to finish us off, we got some weird news, right, Amanda?
Yeah, I have two fun pieces of news.
Cool.
So Monster Hunter has an in-game event going on right now, and the reward for that event is called Buff Body Armor.
Ooh.
So instead of you getting some really awesome armor, this skin is just literally that. It is your skin with a Speedo. So you collect all of the items that you need to get, and then you hand them to the armorer, and instead of armor pieces coming out on the conveyor belt like normal, you just get protein shakes, and then when you put all the armor
What?
on, you're just super buff.
I love it. And it's like your body is buff?
Yes.
You're
yes.
like in a Speedo buff.
Yes, you're
That's
in a Speedo.
fantastic.
Nice.
I cannot wait to watch Brian do this.
Oh, I'm playing Monster Hunter right now, so I will definitely do it.
But I thought it was funny to have an event where you spent lots of time to wear less armor.
Yes. You get that armor and you ride that Rathalos, Brian.
I will.
Do it.
I will, and I will send you a picture.
Well, I didn't ask for that.
And,
Too late.
Oh, man.
Arguably, I would say our second most important news of the podcast
Yes.
is Disney released the official reason.
Oh, man. I was about to say Animal Crossing Countdown. You're like the most important part of our
I
podcast.
said the second most
sorry.
important part of our podcast.
She did say that, Troy.
I'm sorry. I got Animal Crossing goggles on. Go ahead.
Is Disney released the official reason that Mushu is not included in the new Mulan movie.
Because he sucks.
Is they said that when they originally released Mulan, there was I don't know if it was a boycott or just a ban, or just they weren't exporting movies to China, so they didn't make it with Chinese audiences in mind. And then after the movie eventually came to China, that the numbers weren't really what they expected it to be. And they said one of the reasons that was because of Mushu, is that in Chinese culture, dragons are a symbol of like integrity, strength, and respect. And to create a character that's more of a sidekick and comic relief.
And Eddie Murphy was like, dishonor on you, dishonor on your culture, dishonor on my stereotypical, all the stereotypes I'm feeling right now.
Yeah. Having a character that was kind of a buffoon and a dragon was very, I don't know if it was insulting, but it just wasn't, it didn't play well there.
Yeah.
And they said when they went to rewrite the movie to release again this year as the live action movie, they looked at the old movie, they looked at kind of changing times, and then they said they went back to the original source material, which is like a Chinese poem, and then they were like, yeah, maybe not. So point being, Brian was right, Mushu's terrible.
That is correct.
All
still
right,
disagree.
man. This is the most legit your claim has been to hating Mushu so far.
Hey, my claim's legit in my own mind. That's all I need.
And our most important news...
Thanks, Mandy. We have the Animal Crossing Countdown. It will be 11 days and 33 minutes from when this podcast comes out to when Animal Crossing New Horizon drops in our laps.
That's right.
Or hands or heads, whatever body part you want it to drop in. That's where it will drop.
Fair enough.
That would be, March 20th?
Yes.
Yes.
Look forward to it. We're going to have a picnic.
We are.
That's right.
For real.
We're going to eat sandwiches.
Yeah, we are. We're going to eat all the sandwiches. And then we also have a kind of new segment that Troy is going to be bringing us up on with the esports ball news.
Thanks, Brian, and welcome back to the Sports Zone. I'm your Taste of Dragon sports correspondent. Feel like my name should be like Tanner or Trip or something.
I could go with Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, I'm here to cover all things sports, and by all things, I mean only the Overwatch League. Overwatch is a team-based competitive game that's had enough people pay money to it to make it an esport, complete with a full roster of teams from across the world, and we love it.
It's really good.
So let's take a look at the matches from 2 weekends ago. Yes, that means I'm covering a game a whole week late because our episode comes out on Sunday. Why am I screaming? Anyway, sports. Blah, 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 blah. Florida Mayhem gets stomped by top-seeded team New York Excelsior. No surprise. No surprise there.
Florida
New York,
teams are never good.
and New York has gods on their team. Literally gods. Zeus came down and smited Florida. Oh, it was horrid.
It's pretty bad.
Oh. Next up, blah, blah, blah. We have the Atlanta Reign did a thing. Joe, is it a thing, right? See, Ryan Hardy has the fire strike, and when he does his hammer thing, like fire shoots out of it, and then the guy did the fire strike thing, and then like Baptiste, he put up like this matrix thing that makes it everything like more damage happens, and then it went through, and then it killed 4 people on the other team.
What?
It was so cool. People are wondering if they really planned it. I don't think they did. But whatever, they won. Next, the London Spitfire. That's Manny and I's favorite team.
It's the best team. Woo!
Oh my gosh, we bought so much stuff. Shirts, mugs,
Whiskey glasses.
Ugh. They faced off against the Houston Outlaws in the Outlaws' hometown, which was
Houston.
And they destroyed them.
Oof.
And it wasn't even a nice defeat. London drew it out into extra matches. They gave Houston that glimmer of hope that they could like come back. And then London tore it all away right in front of their fans. It was beautiful for me and Mandy. But it was also great. That was the first time Mandy and I got to sit and actually watch London like fully. So now it's kind of a new team that we didn't really know their names, but now we're learning names and personalities. So now we can scream at the TV, as you should do for every good sports game.
Fair enough.
The next day, they stomped Florida. Moving on.
London.
There's other stuff that happened, but who cares? Those are the teams I like. Let's look at the standings. Philadelphia Fusion are leading the pack undefeated with New York hot on their heels.
Wow.
Houston Outlaws picked up their first win last week, breaking their losing streak. They had lost every game up until then.
Ouch.
But none of this matters because none of the standings matter because 5 of the teams still haven't even played yet. Due to traveling concerns amid the COVID-19 virus.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Which will prove that in the end, all of us are the real losers. All of us. And that's your Overwatch sports news with the latest week late coverage. Back to you, Brian.
You've been Trip. Hunter.
I've been
Johnson.
Hunter Trip Tanner.
Oh,
Tune in
that's
next
a
time.
great name. Write that down.
Hunter Trip Tanner. Hunter Trip Tanner.
Well, thank you, TT.
It's HTT.
Oh, HTT. My bad. We're still working it out. All right, so that'll do us for our sports news and our news segments.
You know, Brian.
Yeah, what's going on there, Trip?
That's somebody else. That's a sports guy.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I'm here for video games. The wife and I went out recently to buy ourselves some hardcore antibacterial soap for no real reason.
No reason.
No real reason.
Nope.
But while we were there at some store that could be one of two, because really, what else is there? Actually, there's tons of that house. Anyway, we wanted a little snack. You know, if we're going to keep our hands clean and our faces clean, why not get a little something to stuff those faces with? But I can't remember what I got. Do you remember, Mandy?
Were they some prickly pretzels?
No, they weren't prickly pretzels. Joe Brian, could you help jog our memory?
Was it amazingly antibacterial?
And like, did we just eat it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can use that first and then do everything
I'm not
after
putting
that.
soap in my mouth.
I mean,
Again.
yeah. I was saying we've all done it before.
Yeah, we tried it. It's like, oh, this isn't alcoholic. Okay. Yeah, we just need something that we got something that was like, I don't know, was it savory or was it
tasty?
It was tasty.
It could be tasty. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Was it a tasty tot? Like a tasty tater tot?
Oh, was it a tasty topic?
Ooh. Turns out we remembered on our own. Thanks a lot, you two. A lot of help you two were Joe
what we're here
Brian.
for.
Hey, I just sanitized the topic, okay?
Clean it up.
That's right.
Sanitize that sandwich.
Right on up. And then this week with our tasty topic is Troy.
So, Brian and I, we both played the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo.
Yes.
What a ridiculous title.
It is.
That has made us think of games that are either iterative or remakes or sequels and wondered, hey, do we prefer those games or do we prefer something that is more original, that is a new intellectual property that hasn't been done before? What is the debate? That is the debate.
Yeah,
Where do you all stand on this? Do you like remakes and sequels, or would you rather have something original and unique?
I was thinking about this in the context of like Cyberpunk, and like for me, I'm personally super excited for that to come out. And when I originally thought about this topic, I was like, well, definitely new content. Like I love me some new stuff. And then I had to be real with myself and be like, well, when Dragon Age 4 comes out, I was like, well, they can throw everything else in the trash because that's all I want. Or like Animal Crossing's coming out, and that's another sequel of a game, and just
Right.
like. I don't know if they could have another game and be like, oh, you don't want that game, you want this new game. And I don't know if someone could pitch me on something that I would be more excited about.
Right,
than that one.
but you remember, where you were when someone said, "Hey, there's this new game called Animal Crossing." What made you play that to begin with, the first one?
What?
Like-
I'm saying that if I remember back to that moment when someone was like, hey, there's an Animal Crossing game, I was like, yeah, sure, I guess I'll try it.
Right.
But I wasn't like, hey, I drew this picture and I've set up a picnic and I have a bullet journal now, and I found a person in my game that looks like a friend of ours. Like I wasn't that type of person. Not that I am. Not that.
So
happened.
would you find that I guess enjoying remakes is kind of a more, I don't know, like a nicer choice or a safer choice, or how do you feel about what makes it about those sequels that makes you drawn to them more than an original product?
I think for me personally, it's because I already have an investment in those characters or those stories,
Right.
and I'm interested in a continuation of something that I'm kind of already invested in. It's
Okay.
not that I'm not interested in something new. I think I'm just so drawn into the worlds that have already existed that I'd like to see more from them.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Which is my way of saying that I'm like super millennial.
Okay. Joe, where do you stand on this topic?
I didn't take me long to get to I probably would just replay the same game over and over and over again.
Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
You don't even want a sequel. You're
I don't,
just like, just
I don't even care.
Just
Like,
keep updating this
If
one.
you just port it to another system, I will sit there and I will play it for hours. I really did think about it when we were discussing it earlier, and I do love new content and I do love playing new
right.
games, but I find that I will not even finish a new game before I go back to playing Dr. Mario. Or before I go back to playing a game that has been remade that's just ported onto a system that I have now. Like Animal Crossing is a great example of that. I was in it when that came out. Like I had insomnia, so I was like, I could fish all night long and collect fish and leave them in my house and then go sell them to Tom Nook in the morning. This is the best. And every iteration of the game, that's what I've done. And I think I just love that. I love the nostalgia of that. I love the serene, like it's just very calming. I already know.
It's not just like, hey, you're just liking to do the same thing. You're finding like new ways to appreciate, what's already there. So
Agreed.
you are getting new things out of something that may not necessarily be new.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Me personally, I'm like the same with Manda. Like, if I really truly think about it, I kind of just want to play like Horizon Zero Dawn 2. But I'm kind of in the middle as well, because like Final Fantasy is a perfect example of this.
Right.
Every single Final Fantasy doesn't connect to the previous one with the exception of certain ones.
Right.
However, there is a mechanic system. There is a certain characters. There's certain themes.
There's motifs.
That is indicative of, oh, this is a Final Fantasy. And like
I would say that Final Fantasy does it really well, where even though they're sequels, they're not sequels. So
Yes.
for me, it's like that the Final Fantasy series, for the most part, feels like original IPs over and over again, except when they actually do make a sequel with the same battle mechanics and
yes.
whatnot.
But what's funny is Final Fantasy doesn't work for me for that reason.
Yeah.
But I also don't finish Final Fantasy games, so I guess I would probably be more invested.
You get to the desert level and
and
you're
then
like,
I stop playing.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm especially bad when the desert level's like the second level, and I was like, oh, I did not get my money's worth.
But like that's how I feel. Like with Horizon Zero Dawn as well. Like I wouldn't like. I would love. I'm still waiting for Horizon Zero Dawn 2. However, I also wouldn't hate it if they did the next Horizon has nothing to do with Aloy. They just have it still set in the same universe. It's just either before or after.
But I feel like that's still like the same
but that's the
investment
thing.
into the
It
world.
is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing though. Like it's something kind of new, but it's still something that I'm familiar with. And so I still would prefer that over something completely original.
I'll take completely original every day, all day. Give me that new stuff. Because I also do like the sequels, but I don't get those sequels if you don't make new stuff.
Yeah.
Like Horizon Zero Dawn came out of nowhere. One of the best games ever played. Amazing. Assassin's Creed launched a franchise. The iterations of the sequels of Assassin's Creed is better than the original.
Yes.
But just the concept and the daring and the risk that comes with making an original thing is so powerful and cool to me that, yes, it may not be a great game, but man, the idea, what a good original title does for me is when I play it, I play out the sequels in my head of what this game could be.
Yeah.
And then when it falls out, it happens that way, like Assassin's Creed, then I'm like really joyous and happy that what I thought this could be became that. For me, I always go back to the God of War franchise. Like God of War came out, and the original game had an ending. It was a complete story. It was good. It was done. Like you saw Kratos in modern time. It was a great tale. And then when I heard there were sequels, I was like, what are you doing? The story is done.
Yeah.
I feel like good sequels and remakes are hard to do because so much of it is just trying to cash in on the hit. And that's where I get a little trepidatious on. Like I really did enjoy those follow-up God of Wars because I just felt like they were milking a cow, or BioShock, where it was such an amazing original IP, and then even the creators are like, don't make a sequel, and they were like, deuces, we own your title, we're going to make it anyway.
Yeah.
So I feel like sometimes there's a lot of problems for me, and it gets complicated when I think about remakes or sequels or things like that, whereas for most part, I know with originals, it's like, it's daring. There's something to it that it's unpolished and cool. So
Yeah.
in the end, I'm going to end up wasting a lot of money buying things I'm not going to play.
I do buy new stuff. I
Yes.
just like
Yeah,
if I had to choose,
yeah.
and I think my one exception is the indie games. Because if I can spend $10 on a game, like I am more bought into the idea of trying something new than if it's like a $60 game and it's just like a new like.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I don't know.
and I also agree that it's also, I think for me it's dependent on the studio. Like Outer Wilds,
Yeah.
not to be confused with Outer Worlds.
Oh, he gets it.
Outer Wilds.
Brian.
That studio, I don't want to see an Outer Worlds 2 or an Outer Wilds 2.
Right.
I want to see what they would do next because
Yeah.
their first outing was amazing. Yeah. Like with Papers, Please.
Oh my
I
goodness.
did not want to see a Papers, Please 2. I wanted
Yeah.
to see what he would do next, which turned out amazing.
No,
Right.
I
So-
wanted a Papers, Please too, and I wanted it to be about the one guy who made a passport with a crayon, and the whole game is just
Yes.
following his life.
I love him.
Yeah,
I
he's
love
the
him
best.
so much.
He's the best.
But,
But I
that
think
is the tug of war. Do you get
Yeah.
do you get that gem, that feeling of video games where you feel like you're discovering something for the first time,
Yeah.
or do you get that feeling that you're used to but is so good
Yeah.
Sometimes
and reliable?
sometimes the sequel tries new things. Like
Totally.
Ni no Kuni 2 is a good example.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where that game
It's a
is
great game.
very different than the first one. It's not like the first one's very Pokemon and the second one's almost like RTS mixed with like it was very different. It was
it's-
very good, very different.
Yeah, and I agree with that big time. I think that if the sequel is going leaps and bounds to either a different type of game entirely, or the idea, the mechanics, everything about it, they have made it so much better. I don't even feel like it's a sequel half the time. It's its own game. Like I cannot wait to play Neo 2. I hope it's amazing, and if it's exactly like the first one, I'll still have a great time. But I hope they've changed something to make it harder, to make it better, to make some part of it different.
Yeah, so that it feels like an original game.
Right.
Yeah, Ni no Kuni was much more to me Final Fantasy,
Yeah,
where
it
it
was
was,
like
that.
it is a theme, it is a
Well, they're the
you
same
know,
world.
and it's the same world, but it still is like one of those like it just feels so different
Yeah.
from one game to the next.
And that is why we all in this podcast love Star Wars The Last Jedi.
These are reasons.
From what I'm getting, from what we're saying.
yeah,
I mean,
totally.
this is just, I'm just saying. I guess we're in agreement on this somehow.
All right, what are they doing? 14 movies? You had to pick the best one.
The Ryan Johnson one.
Nope, not gonna happen.
Oh, dear,
So,
no.
That's what y'all said. That's what y'all said.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that'll do it for our tasty topic.
Doom, 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 doom. It's the dragon of the week. Oh, it's so sleek. It's the dragon of the week. It'll make you freak. The dragon of the week. Dragon of the week is our time to shine love on this industry and talk about it the way that we want to and love to.
That was a great poetry jam.
I close my eyes for it.
I'd snap, but you wouldn't hear me.
Yeah. And this week's Dragon of the Week, Amanda is going to be presenting.
Yes. So my Dragon of the Week is a little different this week. It is a video game creator, but he didn't actually start out as a video game creator.
They're the best.
I'm going to be talking about Lionel Gallat, otherwise known on the internet as Seith.
Okay.
Man, what a good name.
That is a really good
That is a
name.
Cyberpunk 2077 name right there.
Lionel Gallat is the creator of Ghost of a Tale, the game about a little mouse.
You
who
talked
is
about that about
Yes.
3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, I bought it in honor of Year of the Rat, even though it was about mice. And
Rats in it.
it was a really phenomenal game, and
Yeah.
for being such a small indie game, it just had a lot of qualities to it that were so well made. It was
Yeah, it sounded amazing.
and on that note, I looked it up, and I think I found out why. Is that Lionel Gallat is an animation director from DreamWorks.
Oh,
He
get outta
worked-
here.
He worked on Prince of Egypt, Road
Heard
to
of
El
it.
Dorado,
Heard of it.
Despicable Me, and
Heard
The
of it.
Lorax.
Never heard of it.
The Dr. Seuss one?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are all great movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I think. I love El Dorado.
Agreed. Yeah.
Oh, yes. And you're a big fan of Prince of Egypt, too, aren't you?
How do you know? Deliver us.
But he said, well, while he was working on the Lorax, he kind of had an idea to work on a video game. So he purchased some video game making software. And he's like, I sat down to work on it. And he's like, I spent hours on it and it just wasn't clicking. And I was thinking, like, this probably isn't for me and probably don't have the skill set. It's just so different from animation. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. And then he bought Unity and he was like, oh, this is much easier. This is made for like people like me to do this.
Yeah. And by buying Unity, he means he downloaded it for free because Unity is the best free game software there is. Me personally thinking. But anyways, go for it.
But he said it was much easier. He was trying to learn C++ before, and he just couldn't get the hang of it. And then you need a little
You
bit
should
of
try
C#.
Yokai 4++.
And he said for Unity you need C#, and it just for him and his brain it was much easier.
That's how
to
it was
use.
for me too.
But he actually worked on the game for over a year before he started his Indiegogo campaign, which is I've never heard of it before, but I'm taking it it's a European version of Kickstarter.
Indiegogo is just another form of it. It's not just European. It's
Oh.
everywhere. But it's just another one.
And it's got a cute name.
Yeah.
It does have a cute name.
Yeah.
But in his campaign, he was explaining that he didn't want to start asking for money until he was certain that he could do it. So actually a good portion of the game was complete before he even went out to look for money, which
That's
is
nice.
amazing because like that's a lot of time and effort
Yeah.
and money
Mental
to spend on
space.
something and not being sure that it's what you want to do. But he ended up only raising, I mean, this is how much he asked for, but he ended up only raising 45,000 euros to make the entire game, which for that amount of money, it's super phenomenal.
Video games be expensive, yo.
Right? But he said that the game was inspired by the Disney's Robin Hood,
Okay.
the Legend of Zelda video game, and the Redwall novels, which I don't know if you've heard of that.
No.
But Redwall is a book series that started in 1986 and ran
year.
through 2011.
Also good
They
year.
made 22 books.
Wow.
Is
Is it about a rat?
No, they are about mice, though.
Oh, right. Sorry.
It's very...
I profiled Brian.
Your rodent-isms.
Oh, my gosh. I meant to say mouse. I said rat. That's on me. And
Is
that's
it like,
on me.
like The Secret of Nim, kind of?
Yes.
Redwall? Oh, okay, I have read some of these.
Yes. It's very Wind in the Willows. I should stop comparing things with other things. It is a book about anthropomorphic mice and other woodland type animals.
Right.
It's very fantasy based. And with that in mind, that's very much like what his game looks like. He said he was inspired by both like some of the cover art, but also the stories.
And that makes sense because when you were talking about Ghost of a Tale, there seemed to be such a robust backstory and like a really lived-in world.
Yes.
So I can see where the parallels would be to a novel.
Was there a character in there called Nicodemus?
No.
Because everything's improved by a character named Nicodemus.
He's not wrong.
But he said his goal was to create a small yet beautiful game with environments like a movie sets and characters that have a sense of stylization in their design while retaining a certain simplicity and intimacy as far as gameplay is concerned. And he really achieved that. The reason that I wanted to highlight him is because his game is amazing, and it was well worth doing the research to realize one of the reasons I really enjoyed the game is it's inspired by all of the things that I also enjoyed. Like every movie that he made, I was like, oh, I did really like that. And then he had a list of like 4 video game inspirations. So I was like, yeah, and I like all those games and all of his movie inspirations. And he mentioned Secret of Nim, and it was just like, yeah, all of this is great. But also I found it really inspiring that he left, like, he was very successful in his job, and he set that aside for a minute to work on like a passion project, something that he just found super interesting. When he started to do it, he failed, and then he found a workaround and then kept at it. Again, I really enjoyed that. And if he's obviously his Indiegogo page isn't live anymore because it's already been funded and it's out. But just reading how passionate he is about this, the way he explains things is super genuine. Like, it's clear that this is just like a passion project for him, and that he really cares about
cool.
not just this, but about video games in general. And
it's nice to see more crossover people from different industries kind of come into video games and vice versa.
Yes, absolutely. And if you haven't seen the game, like, I absolutely recommend that you give it a try. It's only $15.
Okay.
And it's
on Steam only or elsewhere?
I think it's on Steam and Xbox.
Okay.
But
Damn it, Xbox. Damn it, Xbox.
It's absolutely.
Actually, AJ, could you go ahead and fact check that for us? See what Ghost of a Tale is out on? Thank you.
Yes. But like I said, it's only $15 and it's well worth the time. It's absolutely beautiful. The guy who made it is an animator, and it clearly shows. And this whole thing has just been a ploy because this is me trying to convince Lionel to make a sequel. Is based on our previous topic. We all agreed that sequels are the best way to
Clearly, all agreed. We all agreed.
All of us unanimously agreed. And the game was so good, it very much deserves more.
Yeah.
Please name it Ghost of a Whisker. I don't know. What other mouse parts are there?
Soul of a Whisker.
Oh,
Ooh.
Spectre of a Tail.
Nice.
Cool. What's your dragon's name again?
That is a Lionel Gallat, or otherwise known as Seith.
I love this segment. I love learning about video game people. It so much goes into games. It makes me happy.
It's really nice. Yeah, like you said, we just get to find out about them, and I didn't know anything about them before.
Yeah.
Now I know everything.
Thank you, video game people and companies,
Yes.
making stuff for us to play and talk about.
Yeah, and
Thanks,
for you,
Mandy.
Amanda, actually looking that up and presenting it to all of us.
Hell yeah.
Reminding everyone that Prince of Egypt is a thing.
Damn right.
Deliver us.
Troy never forgot.
No, he didn't. I wake up at 2 a.m. I'll just be Troy in front of the TV watching Prince of Egypt.
No joke. We had Road to El Dorado and Prince of Egypt on in the store in the last 2 days.
I for real would love to watch Road to El Dorado. I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah. Road to El Dorado also has that super adult joke in the middle of it, which is great. If you don't really notice it, you don't notice it. I'll tell you
Wow.
after the podcast.
Wow. What a tease, Brian.
Yeah, no.
What a tease.
It's kind of how I am. But what I am not is not teasing the end of this week's episode, because it is.
Aww.
Boom, boom, boom.
As always, for the foreseeable future, we recorded live downstairs inside of one of our houses, otherwise known as the Dragon's Den.
The Dragon's
Ooh.
Den.
The Dragon's Den.
Rawr.
But we are still powered by our friends at 2000 Brigade. Damn right. And you can find us online on the interwebs.
That's right. Look us up at Taste of Dragons on Twitter and on Instagram. And you can find us on Facebook as well. We have a cool feature this week in gaming history. We'll be looking back 20 years ago. the PlayStation 2 was released.
It was.
We are going to be discussing our PlayStation 2 memories on Instagram. You'll only find that content there. Well, and to the other places that I send it to.
Best console.
Check
Best
us out
console.
online. Yeah. We'll see you out there during the week.
That's right. And yeah, as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
Amanda.
And I'm Joe.
And we are.
The Taste of Dragons.
Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
We're going to be doing some changes within the next couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.